welcome to another episode of the Playeressence Vidcast, episode 19. I am Furious Francis. This is here the Impaler, and we are back to serve up another great episode. How you doing today?
Good.
Good?
I'm 20 years old this
20 years. We got birthday boy over here. Hero the Impaler is now moving into 20 years old. So how do you feel?
Old.
Old. Yeah, right, man.
Old.
I'm not going to say my age, but I'll just say it's over 20.
Not 9,000, huh?
It's not over 9,000, but it's over, it's definitely over 20, and I'd probably say it's over 25 as well. Okay, so...
That's all you're going to get.
That's all you're going to get, man. So, moving on here, just want to go over the news for the website, Playeressence Now, where we talk about all the latest happenings on the website. We got some pretty cool opinion articles that are up. Metroid Prime 4, what we want to see. Of course, we broke that news first as far as Metroid coming to the Wii U and the 3DS. And we're pretty sure that Retro is going to have something to show at E3. So I put together a wish list of what I want for Metroid Prime 4, how I should use the gamepad, and things like that. And a lot of people have been going on there, so hopefully you guys continue to check that out and comment if you want to on there. The next things for the site is we have Sony is going to be making a big mistake for releasing the PS4 after the Xbox 720. I wrote an article about that. It's on the main page, so you can check it out right there. It just talks about why Sony needs to kind of take control and regain like their own mojo. They need to continue doing what they need to do. Don't predicate what you do based off of Microsoft. Go out there and do your own thing. So I got that up, and Hero the Impaler has the new video for the Dark Souls 2 like we talked about last week. It's up. It's on the main site. You can check, or it's on the main slider on the top. You can check that out. 20 minutes of gold, in my opinion, man. It is awesome. We always like to see Hero taking down the competition in Dark Souls. So check that out. So that's over with with Playeressence Now. We're gonna go ahead and move on to what you're playing, and I'll go first. Basically, I have been playing a couple new games here. I got Code of Princess for the 3DS. I downloaded it on the eShop. It's like I was talking to you about this earlier, man. The game is bad translations, man. Or not bad translations, but it's just so cheesy. The dialogue, man. It's really bad. Like, I mean, the game doesn't take itself seriously. Like, it doesn't take itself, like, the story, like, they know that they're in a game, they know that they have levels, they reference things, they reference themselves as sages and things like that, so it's real campy, but it's actually really good. The only thing that I thought was really funny about the game was like, okay, I'm going to play some online play, like, some co-op and stuff. Went online, nobody on. 0 people online, so if you have Code of Princess, please let me know so we can play some online co-op. I also just played some more of Mass Effect 3, getting towards the end. Awesome game. What can I say about it? Go get it if you haven't played it yet. And I've been playing some New Super Mario Bros. 2 on the 3DS and New Super Mario Bros. U on the Wii U. So, yeah, those are really cool. Like, I'm enjoying, like, I actually got into the special worlds on New Super Mario Bros. 2. So that was fun. I was just kind of going through that. And New Super Mario Bros. U, I still haven't beat it yet because I played with my brother, but he left. So we're at the end, but I'm going to just go ahead and beat that game. So I've been enjoying it. They're both really good and fun. New Super Mario Bros. U is definitely better, the HD graphics and all that stuff. But both cool games, just ready for the next wave of Wii U games to come. And yeah, that's pretty much it for my What You Playing. Hero, I think you have an exciting new piece of DLC that you've been playing on a certain game that people know you for.
I got the Revolution DLC. That was my mom and dad's birthday present to me.
Nice.
They got me a gun. The Peacekeeper.
The Peacekeeper.
And actually, and I like the maps. I mean, they're very simple, but they're intricate. They're very, like, there's this one map, Hydro, where you can go, there's 2 levels, and you can go underground if you would, and you're like in this water facility, but every few minutes or so, like, these waves of water come down on the ground, and you get killed instantly if you get hit by them. So like with me playing Capture the Flag, I use that for cover.
For water? Come down?
Yeah.
Cover? Oh, it's like, from enemy shot. Yeah.
Yeah, so that way when I'm on the other end, you can't cross. You have to go you have to go upstairs and follow me from across the top where I've got guys watching, so I'm covered underground.
Nice.
I mean, and then they got the skate park.
How was that?
Hectic.
It's a skate park.
It's like Nuketown, but it's not Nuketown. There's a lot going on. A lot going on. I mean, it's a small map, so obviously everything's really... It's never a dull moment.
Nice.
Then they have this other one on Mirage, or I really honestly, it's in my book. You're in the desert, and there's this round building in the middle, and there's 2 levels on it, and then they got a pool on the right and a bus sign on the left. It's alright, but it's one of the bigger maps. But the thing of it is there's too many corners in there, too many places where people sit and camp, and it's just annoying.
Campers.
Yeah.
So, overall, how would you rate this DLC compared to the other pieces of DLC that they've released so far?
I would make it a 10 out of 10, strictly because they gave it the Peacekeeper, which at this time, I say it's overpowered, which they'll probably patch here soon, so enjoy while you can.
Enjoy the Peacekeeper while you can. So, 10 out of 10. And how much is this DLC?
It's 15... I think it's 12 or 15 on Microsoft points.
Oh, but if you have the season pass, I think it's cheaper if you have the season.
Well, no, if you have the season pass, it's for free.
Okay,
the season pass is 4,000 Microsoft points.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like it. And the other reason why I think it's so good is they were smart that they released double weapon XP the day they released the Revolution DLC, so your weapons level up quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, say you have a gun that you haven't really used, but you want to, max it out. Now was the time to do it. I don't know how long it lasted. I think it's over already, but... So, I mean...
But it gets people playing the game. It gets people excited and interested to play. I remember when double XP weekends would happen, I think with... either the first COD or... I think it was the first COD when they did it. I was like, ah! I was like, double XP! Dude, I would rush to my console and get on there for double XP when COD 4 came out back in the day.
I was actually, when it first came out, the day it came out, a lady friend of mine, she called and she needed some help, and I'm like, I'm kind of busy freaking playing.
I would have just hung up on her, man. I was like, get some help from somewhere else.
But, no, I had to stop and race over to the other side of the city to go help her. I was very quick. I was like, okay, here you go. I'm going back home. She goes, what's your hurry? I'm like, Revolution is out. I got the Peacekeeper ready to go.
Nice. Okay.
But, yeah, I've been playing a lot of that, obviously, and Darksiders 2. I've been still making time for Darksiders 2. Always fun,
Well, that wraps up what Hero's been playing. I was very excited about as far as the Revolution DLC. I definitely have to maybe watch you.
I recommend anyone that has COD Black Ops 2 to get it.
Get that really Revolution DLC. Okay, so that wraps up what we've been playing. Next, we're going to move on to the Essence. So it's just basically the best news articles from the week, and probably the biggest news that sent Take-Two's stock, or who's the people that do Grand Theft Auto, whatever the people, Rockstar or whatever. Rockstar sent their stock tumbling because GTA 5 has been delayed till September. So stock holders, people were just like, they went crazy, and they're just like, no GTA 5 in spring, screw this. So sent their stock tumbling, but don't worry, it's gonna raise right back up around September.
It's coming.
So yeah, it's been delayed, but that's okay. It needs more time, and one analyst, which I hate quoting analysts or anybody, really, I hate analysts, but anyway, one guy is like, oh well, it might be coming out on next gen systems too. So we can maybe see it on the PS4 and Xbox 720, as well as the PS3 and Xbox 360, which would be crazy. That'd be a lot of systems. That'd be like Madden level systems like that it's on. But
PS Vita, 3DS,
360, PS3, Xbox 720, PS4. I mean, the PC. It's gonna be on everything. But anyway, so you guys have to wait a little bit longer to play GTA. In the meantime, I don't know, play Saints Row 3 or something.
In the meantime, pick up Alien Colonial Marines.
That's what you need to pick up. Alien Colonial Marines, that's coming out around springtime, March, so pick up that.
Out in February.
Oh yeah, February. Sorry, March is the Wii U version. March is the Wii U version. Okay. Next, Nintendo's financial briefings. Basically, Nintendo hasn't been selling as many Wii U's or 3DS's as they thought. Definitely, they were short on the Wii U side by around... They slashed their forecast to around 4 million units instead of 5.5 million. And they cut their 3DS forecast from by 2 million, from 17 to 15 or something like that. Japan is performing really strongly with the 3DS because they have games, that usually works like that. When you have games, your system usually sells.
Yeah, well, that's, we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
That's all system, the Xbox 360 wasn't all that popular until Halo came out.
Gears and Halo and COD really spurred the Xbox 360.
And then people were like, ooh, this is nice. And then they, and that's the only problem is once they started, don't get me wrong, New Super Mario Brothers U, Zombie U, all of them are good, but Nintendo just needs to wait for the next wave of games to come, the new Super Smash Bros, the Mario Kart, Metroid, Zelda.
Which those aren't coming till the end of the year, What Nintendo also needs to do is they need to definitely ramp up their production on games. We need to hear when's Bayonetta 2 coming out,
Yeah, or Xenoblade.
Yeah, the Xenoblade 2, when's that coming out? No doubt they're coming, and no doubt at some point they're gonna all get here, and the Wii U's gonna be fine because it will be.
It's just in the meantime.
In the meantime, it's just tough because Nintendo's biggest enemy is their self. They make games so good that third parties always feel that they don't have a chance on their system, so it doesn't get the support. It's not because Nintendo. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, because the specs are weak," or because they're no. It has nothing to do with that because the GameCube had actually better specs than the PS2. You know what I'm saying? The GameCube, technically, on a technical level, could do what the PS2 could do and more. And it still didn't get third-party support. It's not about power. That has nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? It's about Nintendo...
Just bringing out good games.
They need to... But the problem is that Nintendo fans seem to just want to buy kind of their own games. If the game isn't on Nintendo's level, they're not going to buy it. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of people think. I think that's what developers think. That if the game's not as good as Mario or Metroid, then our games have no chance at selling, which is, I don't know if it's true. It's somewhat true and it's not, because what do we see on a third-party level that's as good as Nintendo? And not a fucking shooter. Not Call of Duty.
Watch it.
No, I'm just saying, not a freaking shooter or anything like that. What is as good as Mario Galaxy from a third-party company? What is as good as Metroid? I don't know if there's third-party games that come out on Nintendo systems that are as good as Nintendo's first-party games. That's the only issue that I have. It's do third parties release stuff on there that's as good? And like I said, not Call of Duty, because Call of Duty's better on the other systems than there ever are on the Nintendo system. So I think that's my issue with.
Well, I think Nintendo's been really, since they came out, they've been really more on first-party games.
Yeah.
And I think that's mainly because their first-party games, Mario saved the video game industry freaking from the crash.
Yeah.
That's a magnitude that Halo, COD, Gears, Uncharted, none of them will ever see.
Yeah.
Because there's just something about Nintendo's games that they just have their own stamp that are just, there's nothing like it out there.
Yeah.
What game can you name off the top of your head that resembles anything to Mario Galaxy?
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't think of one game that uses the physics 3D platformer that's good. First of all, companies are just straight scared of 3D platformers. Uncharted, you think that's a platforming game? You're auto jumping in that game. That is not a platforming game. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, 3D platforming, cool. When I played it, I was like, wait a minute, I just press a button and he just jumps as far as he can. So nothing really. There's no other games like it,
But in retrospect, how many games can you name out there that look and feel exactly like Call of Duty?
A lot.
Gears, any of them. That's why third-party developers don't want to screw with Nintendo, because Nintendo is just their franchises and their...
Is that fair?
Yeah.
But they blame Nintendo for making really good games. Like, oh, we...
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry that my game isn't as good as yours. That's just,
basically...
That's just, freaking... I can't think of it. That's just being a weenie. It's like, step your game up. I mean, if you want to put something on Nintendo, go for it. Just let it be known that you're going to be standing right next to Mario, Zelda, Metroid, all these other games.
The companies that have had success on the Wii and on previous Nintendo, it's always been like the kind of the weird games that kind of look like maybe Nintendo could do that. Like, for instance, like I remember, like, not Epic Mickey 2, the Power 2, because that game bombed, but like the first Epic Mickey on the Wii, which was unique. Like, you kind of used the Wii remote like to aim, and it's like paint and thinner. And that game sold like 1.5 million copies. You know what I'm saying? It sold really well for a third-party game on Wii. Like, those are the type of games that seem like, okay, that do well on Nintendo systems, and it just seems to me like third-party developers need to put up more of an effort instead of complaining.
And that's probably where I was like, third-party developers just complain like, oh, boo-hoo, Nintendo's games are freaking sick. It's like, I mean, that's...
I can't sit here and recommend people who have Wii U to go out and buy Call of Duty and to go out and buy Mass Effect 3 and to go out and buy Assassin's Creed when those companies just do straight ports and they don't really add anything
that makes them unique.
That makes it unique, or anything to basically help, or even like adding DLC, even making it on par, like adding DLC to make the experience on par with the 360 version. I can't recommend that. So if EA or if Ubisoft, Ubisoft's supporting the Wii U, but if like EA or other like people don't want to put their games on there because they don't feel like making it for the system, then I don't care. A lot of people are like, oh, well, this is going to be GameCube 2. They're going to bomb. I'm like, dude, that's fine. GameCube was cool, man.
GameCube did just fine.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. You want GameCube 2? Great. GameCube 2, that's fine with me. I'll play Nintendo's first-party games, and I'll buy a PS4, Xbox 720, or PC. I have a PC to play third-party games. It's not people are making a bigger deal of it than it needs to be. We don't need freaking 5 systems that all do the same thing. Like, how many varieties of Call of Duty should I have? Options of Call of Duty should I have to buy? It's like, I don't need Call of Duty on like next gen Call of Duty on 5 different systems. Xbox and PS4 are fine.
Maybe Wii U.
Maybe. I mean, I think it'll come out on Wii U. There'll probably be differences probably between graphics, or I don't know. But anyway, moving on to the next topic here. Okay, Vigil, the people who make one of your favorite games, Darksiders, they have found a new home within Crytek. So, all of you...
Are you sure you're not talking about Dark Souls?
No, Darksiders.
You told me Dark Souls earlier.
Well, that really screws things up. No, not Dark Souls. Darksiders.
Because I was like, you say Vigil made Dark Souls?
No, Darksiders. Darksiders 2.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
they've got a new home with Crytek. So they're going to be heading up to, I think, Crytek USA. It's actually Crytek's first development studio in the US, because they usually do Germany and other parts of Europe and stuff like that. So yeah, they've got a new home, and they're hard to work at. Not Darksiders 3, but a new IP. So we should probably be hearing about that at E3 or maybe a little bit after that. Okay, PlayStation All Stars, the Smash Bros. type. Here's the thing: people say it's a Smash Bros. Type clone, but dude, that game is not Smash Bros. Man. In my opinion, which I want to talk about this, the PlayStation All Stars team has been hit with layoffs, Superbot, because of declining sales. I think it sold only 500,000 copies and probably gave away half that many to people that have Vitas. So anyway, they've been hit with layoffs because the game has not sold up to expectations. But I will say this about the game. The game would have been better off as an actual Smash Bros. Clone. When you start playing the game, you start realizing that it's not like Smash Bros. The whole mechanic of even how you fight and how you get people out, like who wins, is not like Smash Bros. It's, you stay in the arena, like you hit each other, stay in the arena, and then you build up a super meter. And then you do your super move, and then that knocks them out of the arena. So it's like the Smash Ball. It's like you're building up like internally for a Smash Ball, and then you do that. And I hate that. Like, they should have made it. I would have had no shame with this game. I would have had a bunch of PlayStation characters, and I would have made it just like Smash Bros. As in percentage, you hit them out, and I guarantee
the percentage the farther you fly.
Yeah, and I guarantee you this game would have sold more because I know I would have bought it, and I know Wii fans who like PlayStation, Nintendo fans who like PlayStation would have bought this game if it was more like Smash Bros. But it's not like Smash Bros. It's different. The concept is the same, you know. The concept is the same, but the execution is not. And when I played it, I was like, yeah, this is cool, but it's not like Smash Bros. So I swear I would have bought this game if it was like Smash Bros. If they had
I sort of gave up on that game when I was watching. I don't even remember if it was a trailer or what. But freaking the guy from Twisted Metal, a clown with his hair on.
Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, when I saw him, I was like.
You don't like Sweet Tooth?
Oh, I love Sweet Tooth. I love Twisted Metal, but the fact that they made him into freaking where a little girl is beating the crap out of him, and
so you don't like the other characters that are in there, or
no.
Okay. Yeah, I just wish that. I mean, Superbot, if you're listening for the next one, make it exactly like Smash Bros, please.
Yeah, make it.
I mean, I'm not
make it like Super Smash Bros, and you'll add a few zeros at the end of that 500,000.
I personally think that they would have sold more if it was actually like Smash Bros. Because I know a couple people. I mean, I'm not basing it off of, I shouldn't base it off of just what I've heard, but just people that I've talked to were like, yeah, dude, like it seems cool and all, but when I started playing it, I thought it was gonna be like Smash Bros. Because everybody calling it like Sony Smash Bros. But it's not like Smash Bros. It's a different type of game. I mean, it's cool and all, but I don't know. But if that game worked like Smash Bros, I would have bought it in just a second because I love Smash Bros. So it's sad to see the team get layoffs, but there are rumors that they're working on Sony PlayStation All Stars 2. So hopefully those guys will be rehired back when they need it.
Maybe they'll learn from their mistake.
Maybe, but
not likely though.
They'll probably be just more characters and just a sequel. We are going to move on to. That is done with the essence. We're going to go ahead and move on to the main topic here. And we already kind of had like a nice conversation about some of these other things that actually might be bigger than this. But EA released an interesting quote with, I guess it was like internal meeting or something through some Kotaku dude or somebody from Kotaku put it up and basically saying Wii U is not next gen. And there's been some clarifications based on that saying that they don't quite consider it. But whatever it is, the internet's kind of going crazy. People saying, "Oh, Wii U, see, look, they don't think it's next gen, so it's not next gen." And personally, I don't care. I guess people don't understand what next gen is. It's the next system you release. I mean, so
yeah. Think about it like your daughter is the next generation, so I guess her children ain't man, they're still the same gen. You know what I'm saying?
The next generation is next in line. It's not based off of power or anything like that, but I guess that's how EA considers it as fourth gen, which I don't know what EA does, man. I mean, I think sometimes they're shooters. They're shooter happy mindset. I don't know.
They just want to shoot everything inside.
Sometimes their shooter happy mindset just gets the best of them. But what's your opinion on what they said? And
I completely disagree with you. I mean, don't get me wrong. Lord help me, the PS3 has that stupid motion control, but there has been nothing on this planet that has even come close to that Wii U gamepad. Ever. I mean, last week after we were done with the vidcast, this dude picked up his Wii U gamepad. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm going to play New Super Mario Bros. I'm like, on that? You don't need a TV on that? That's next gen. I mean, just because, and I think the only thing that EA can say that it's not next gen is because it's not being released within a few months of the PS4 and the Xbox 7.
They talk about power, though. The power's not quite what they were expecting, and some developers have also echoed those statements. But I also have to remember, the context of who's talking about it. EA, they are a shooter, like Dead Space, Battlefield, you know what I'm saying, Medal of Honor. They release shooters. They like shooters, and with shooters, it's all about eye candy with shooters, for the most part. A lot of shooters, they want to be the most visually, because really in shooters, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of new gameplay
I
mechanics.
mentioned that last episode.
You're doing the same thing, so what are you going to get to people to say, oh, I want to play this, or make it different? Well, it looks better. You know?
The guns look
more detailed, the
blood and all that.
Exactly, the AI, things like that. So EA, I can see where they're coming from, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Because the other systems are going to have more RAM, better CPU, better graphics, and their games are going to be the same. Like Medal of Honor, those games, they're going to be the same on PS4. They're not going to get some
the only way that they'll change, and they won't do it, is freaking when they release the Call of Duty freaking third-person shooter. That's when things are going to change.
Well, that's Activision, but I mean, like, you know, gameplay-wise, from going to next gen, there's not going to be any revolutionary gameplay things. It's going to be, there's going to be hopefully better AI, and there's going to be bigger maybe more detailed environments and better graphics. And EA is looking at the Wii U and they're like, okay, well, this gamepad, it doesn't do what we want it, like for shooters. What does it do? You know, I don't know if we can implement it in the type of shooters that we do. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna support the PS4 and Xbox, 720 more, which is perfectly fine because I don't think Nintendo fans are really people who are getting the Wii U are looking to play Medal of Honor anyway on the Wii U. So.
Well, that kind of reverts back to Nintendo's been first-party developers only. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't recall a first-person shooter that Nintendo's ever put out that's...
There's been one.
Yeah, and it was probably crap.
GoldenEye.
No.
That was good.
I couldn't tell you. I never played it.
Well, GoldenEye, it's on higher regard. A lot of people consider it one of the greatest shooters of all time. But that's back when they owned Rare. They put out GoldenEye, and they put out Perfect Dark. That was back in the N64 days, though. If you mean like recently,
yeah, Perfect Dark Zero's.
That's Zero. That's when Rare was.
That's when they swapped over.
That's when they went to Microsoft. But Perfect Dark on the 64 was good. They also had, if you want to consider Metroid Prime a shooter, you can also. It's in first person.
Yeah.
You shoot in first person, but the mechanics are nothing like a first person. It is it's an action game in first person. There's platforming. It's not dual analog type control. It's like a lock on, and strafe and like side. It's just roll into a ball and
roll up the walls.
Yeah, roll up the walls and all sorts. It's all sorts of stuff like that. So I mean, you can say that, but I will take Metroid Prime over typical shooters any day. I don't care what anybody says. I think Metroid Prime is fantastic, and I think. The review ratings on Metroid Prime on the GameCube is still one of the highest reviewed games ever. So that says that. But
I disagree with EA. Like I said, they're mad because Nintendo isn't up to their standards, which is completely ridiculous. And so it's like, because we can't put something out on your system. Oh no, it's not next gen.
I don't know if they can or cannot. So I think it's more they don't want to.
They can. Yeah. Believe me, anybody can. But it's like, how well will it do? Like you said, if they put Medal of Honor on the Wii U, how many people you think are gonna? Oh, Medal of Honor on Wii U, I've got to get it, man.
Not that many people, because not that many people want to buy it on the Xbox 360. So, no, not that many people. It'll even be worse on the Wii U. But, yeah, I agree. But to kind of just shift this to another topic, now, could EA be saying this because of their history with Nintendo? We talked about this earlier. EA and Nintendo have a very shaky business relationship.
Yeah, there may be some bad blood.
There's some bad blood between the two because Nintendo or EA wanted Origin to be Nintendo's Nintendo's shop, like where you go to buy games, and Nintendo thankfully said, "We'll pass," and that's when EA said, "Well, F you guys," you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to support you with these games because Battlefield 3 and some of their other games were supposed to come to Wii U. And the Crysis 3, Battlefield 3, those games were supposed to be ported to Wii U, but because of bad business, and Crytek's CEO even said this, it was a failed business dealing between Nintendo and EA. So you think maybe they're saying this kind of because they kind of feel a little bitter over what happened, or just bad business,
Yeah, like I said, because they can't, I don't say that they can't, but because the business between them hasn't worked out, oh no, their system isn't next gen. Mm-hmm. They're just going to trash them because their business history has been bad, and, I don't think EA and Nintendo will ever really get along.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. Definitely not. EA's not supporting the portable system either. You don't
But
really
to
see
the
much
thing
on
is,
portables.
and that's something about Nintendo that they've always had, is Nintendo, whenever people like EA and all them go, oh, I'm not going to support you, Nintendo's like, okay. I'm gonna keep putting out Mario.
Yeah, and that's why people say Nintendo's wrong for doing first party, like focusing. But I think that's actually right. It's called self-preservation.
Yeah, that's what I said. At the end of the day, they've got Mario, Zelda, Pokemon,
Because
just to name a few.
I'll tell you this: next generation with Xbox and with PS4, Sony or Microsoft might find out the hard way when you have more competition around and you don't have the first party to back yourself up. You might find yourself when that money's getting split more to Steambox and getting split to PS4 and getting split to maybe some other systems that might be coming out. You know,
another one I can't even think of.
You know, Project Shield or whatever the case may be. But if Steambox comes out and people start getting that more, it starts coming out day and date, third-party games on the PS4. Plus, PS4 owners can get first-party games too. Sony's first party. Microsoft might take a little bit of hit in their third-party sales, and what are they going to fall back on? Kinect and Halo and stuff. I mean, that's not enough. So you know.
Yeah, no, that's true, and I think honestly with the next generation, me personally, they need to put out more than just Halo and Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Because if anything, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've never played Uncharted or God of War, but if anything, those are unique experiences.
I think those can be the experiences that drive
versus like
yeah.
Xbox 720 going, oh, I've got another shooter for you. It's Call of Duty, don't get me wrong, it's another shooter, it's another Call of Duty, it's another Halo, but all we've done is added a few more weapons and made the graphics better. That's about it. Yeah. No RPGs, no...
Well, that's my thing with next generation is going to be Shooter Box USA. It's going to happen. That's why third parties aren't supporting Nintendo. No, that's why people who make shooters aren't supporting Nintendo. Nintendo's going to get everything. They're getting some pretty cool RPGs. They're working with Atlas to get Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei. They're getting Monster Hunter. You know what I'm saying? They're getting the...
Namco. Namco or Capcom that makes Monster Hunter?
It's Capcom. Yeah. Capcom's putting out they're getting Resident Evil Revelations on the Wii U. They're getting good games. They're getting other games from people. It's just that they're not going to get the shooters that are so popular. And honestly, oh the F well, man. Like, I'll have a PS4, I'll have a Steambox. I can buy a stupid shooter if I want to get one on whatever system. I don't need all that crap on the Wii U, to be perfectly honest. And if the Wii U is GameCube too because of that, so be it. The Wii U's GameCube too, and...
Well, honestly, and you told me about predictions for the gaming industry. I honestly will predict that this whole shooting thing will burn out soon.
It won't. I think it will. Because the EA and other companies are forcing it down our throat.
But that's my thing, is...
Gearbox only makes shooters. I mean, when was the last time can Gearbox make anything but a shooter? The Borderlands, Aliens Colonial Marines, Duke Nukem, everything they make is shooter. And Borderlands RPG elements, but you're still just shooting half the time. Everything's in first person. Nothing is in third person. Nothing is taking advantage of any other type of gameplay mechanics. Everything is just shooter now. You gotta admit.
I agree completely, but what I'm saying is, you keep shoving things down people's throat, people will eventually close their mouths and not let you put it in their mouths. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's just say we're getting real full right now, bro. It's been 8 years since this generation, and people are still have their mouth open. So
see, because my thing is, and the only reason I say this is because everyone's expecting the PS4, the PS4 supercomputer people and the 720 to do all these magical, amazing things. Like, no, dude. Your first-person shooters are going to be exactly the same.
They're going to play the same.
They're going to play the same.
Some better AI, maybe.
You're going to have better AI and better graphics. Is that going to justify another 8 years of nothing but first-person shooters?
Yes. And on that note, we are wrapping up this conversation and
before we explode
into it. Yes, but we're gonna get back on that. But we're just a little short on time, and thank you for watching the vidcast. It was very interesting. I think we had some good discussions here, and we're going to hit back on that topic. Mm-hmm. And once again, we want to thank all of you guys for coming to the site. The site's doing really well. We have a nice base of people. Continue commenting on there. Continue looking at all our original content with our original content tab on there. Continue checking out our Just Plains on YouTube. Subscribe, definitely. Get on Facebook. Hop on there. Find us on Facebook. find us on Twitter. We got all of that. We're always tweeting. We're always updating. We're always uploading new stories and new content from Hero over here, from Just Playing, Dark Souls, to Darksiders coming up, Aliens, Colonial Marines, Crisis 3, Metal Gear Solid, or Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. We're going to have a ton of stuff, so continue to lock it into Player Essence for all of your gaming news, reviews, trailers, all that good stuff. Once again, I am Furious Francis. That is Hero the Impaler, and we are up and out of here.
Later.
Peace.